grab your snacks. It's time to lock in. I got some celebratory sparkling grape juice. Here's to 900. Oh yeah, that's really good. Welcome back to Ever Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Ever Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to be talking about Aladdin! Aladdin is a 2019 theatrical release about a boy named Aladdin who's an orphan who gets a genie and makes some wishes and falls in love with a princess, and there's other bad guys and stuff. It's directed by Ritchie, cinematography by Alan Stewart, editing by James Herbet, music by Alan Menken, and it's written by John August and Guy Ritchie. The film stars Mena Massoud as Aladdin, Naomi Scott as Jasmine, Will Smith as Genie, Marwan Kenzari as Jafar, Navid Negahban as Sultan, and Nasim Pdrad as Dahlia. In October of 2016, Guy Ritchie was brought on to adapt Aladdin into a live-action remake. They wanted to be diverse as possible with casting because they did not want to make Prince of Persia, is what they said, which is hysterical. That is incredible. They casted everyone but Aladdin and Jasmine first. They had a 4-month-long open casting call for Aladdin and Jasmine, and finally found Mena and Naomi, and Alan Tudyk as Iago. Filming began September of 2017 and wrapped January of 2018. They did reshoots in August of 2018. 4 visual effects companies worked on the film. It had a $183 million budget and made $1.054 billion in the box office. It's got a 57% Rotten Tomatoes consensus. Aladdin retells its classic source material story with sufficient spectacle and skill, even if it never approaches the dazzling splendor of the animated original. There were a fair amount of controversies, the biggest one being they saw white people with brown makeup as extras in the background. Disney came out with a comment about that, saying everyone as true extras in the background was diverse. There were a couple stunt or specialty skill people that might have been made to look to blend in, which is a statement in and of itself. There was also a bit of backlash about Naomi Scott's casting because Naomi Scott is half Indian, and there's this whole controversy about how Indian people and Middle Eastern people are seen as interchangeable, and they're not. And then there was a controversy about Billy Magnuson's character being added into the story. But then people countered that with Jasmine's handmaid, Dahlia, being added to the story. Like, they added more than one character. You can't, they didn't just add a white guy to add a white guy. They, is their argument, I suppose. Make what you will of everything. There was a novelization tie-in, if I didn't already say that. A sequel was rumored to be in development. It has not been denied or said, like, hey, it's not happening. I know Mena Massoud has said I'm not holding my breath about it before. It just maybe is put off. They did cancel a prequel about the genie, but there is supposedly still a spin-off series about Prince Anders being made for Disney+, which is very interesting. Guy Ritchie was out here. What a cohesive vision. I feel like these live-action remakes either do land or they don't land. As you can see, there's a fair amount of them I do not really enjoy, and then there's a fair amount of them that I do enjoy and I hold very dear to my heart. So I feel like it's, the only way to really, we're all complaining about the live-action remakes still happening, they've got to stop. But at the same time, if they're good, okay. And if it's a movie that it makes sense for, I don't think Aladdin necessarily needed a live-action remake, but he did a good job. It's a cohesive vision. Some of them don't land, some of them do. I think this is one of the ones that lands. I think Guy Ritchie did a pretty good job at this. This looks great. I think the genie looks a little bit rough when he's like in his big blue form, but otherwise everything else looks really good. The movement is really great. There's a oneer right at the beginning all through the market that's really beautiful. Doesn't feel too digitally, which is really great. One Jump Ahead cinematography is a little weird. I think One Jump Ahead is the weakest song in this movie because they had Mena like speak it more than he sings it, because he sings in A Whole New World very well. But in this, he just sounds like he's kind of talking, which was not the vibe for me personally. But the cinematography, sorry, that was a little bit of a sidetrack. The cinematography in One Jump was either like sped up, slowed down. It was just a little funky what was going on in there. And then the Jasmine reveal shot is so good, and it's made even better to me by the fact that she's like reaching for her empty wrist because she's wanting her mom's bracelet to give her like courage. And I just think it's a really good shot. This gets right into it, which is very fun, and then I really feel like this is excellently paced. I was never bored. I never felt like something was unnecessary, except for like maybe the giant bird Iago chase, but it didn't go on too long for me to be like, all right, what are we doing? It was like a quick little, okay, we add the little chase scene, fine. But otherwise, it's really well paced. It's very cause and effect, very like point A, point B, point C, point D, point E. Like, it felt very like, okay, this thing did this thing did this thing, which I liked and helped make it fly. One of the things I love about the live action remakes that I will say is when it's a movie that Alan Menken did the original music for, he often comes back and does the score again for the live action remake. And I love that because you really get to see how much Alan Menken has grown as a composer in the last 30 years. Because Aladdin was like the fourth movie he ever composed music for, because the first movie he ever did was Little Shop of Horrors. The second movie he ever did was Little Mermaid. So, like, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. So if we're including Little Shop of Horrors, which him and Howard Ashman wrote as a musical and then did the movie for, I'm pretty sure Aladdin's his fourth movie he ever composed. So then, think of all the movies he's composed since then. And now in Aladdin, you get to hear how detailed and complex the symphony of it is, you know what I mean? And I think that's so fun. I do have a live action remake after this that I think he quite literally outdoes himself. It gives me like actual goosebumps. But I will say, there's obviously, they changed the lyrics of Arabian Nights again because Genie's singing it in the opening. But then the Jasmine reveal, there's a little bit of a speechless sting, you know, he keeps the themes of the songs throughout, which is, oh, it's just so good. And then speaking of, Speechless, I think is one of the greatest addition songs they have done in one of these live action remakes, if it's a musical. You know, you got Beauty and the Beast added, you know, the When There's a Moment or whatever that song is, and Evermore. We're not gonna talk about that. So Beauty and the Beast added a couple songs, but I don't feel like they like really just captured a character in its entirety. I know I'm on the like side of Evermore that people do not agree with. I know people really loved Evermore. This movie, I think Speechless is perfect. I think it is an excellent song for Jasmine to sing. I think it's wonderful that Jasmine gets a solo song, first of all. I just think it captures everything perfectly for her and what women go through in a lot of different environments, but in her experience that we get to see, it makes total sense. It's just such a great addition song. I don't think they really added any other songs. They added just Speechless, and it was fantastic. And in the actual movie, it's broken up into pieces, and then obviously you can listen to it in its entirety, but it's broken up into pieces, which just makes it like so much more savorable. It's just really good. And then the music during Jafar trying to like coax and convince Aladdin, the music when Aladdin's about to go into the Cave of Wonders, changing it to Heard Your Princess Was Hot, was great for this situation. I don't love that period. I do prefer all of Robin Williams' versions of the Genie's songs, but I don't think it was necessarily terrible. I was emotional in this movie before A Whole New World even started. and then I was emotional during. It is beautiful. It's a fantastic song. I mean, it's a great song originally. I remember in the theater when I saw this, I was weeping during A Whole New World. Probably, one, because it was just so beautiful. Their voices are so beautiful. Naomi Scott is beautiful. But then I was like so happy about the representation. I was so excited to see Mena Massoud and Naomi Scott on the screen singing A Whole New World from Aladdin and represent little kids that look like them. And that, like, really, I was like, oh my god, and I was like weeping in the theater. I was not okay. And yeah, and then Speechless makes me cry every time. So when it was finally for the big moment of Speechless, when she like turns around and is like, Hakeem, you know, and she's really singing and she's got the tears running down her face and just like, oh my god. Cry every time. It's Naomi Scott, man. I have so many things written down. I took so many notes for this movie. Okay, first of all, them meeting immediately is so good. I think I really like that. I think skipping the whole beginning without them meeting out in the market is really great. I think just having them meet right away in the market just gets the movie going. I think it's really well done. There are 3 parent deaths then right out of the way. Aladdin's 2 and Jasmine's mom. Abu stealing the bracelet from Jasmine for real is such like a great setup of like this will they, won't they, lie, not lie moment. Making Jasmine want to be Sultan was the best choice for this movie. This is what I'm talking about. Like, okay, we talked about in the live action Beauty and the Beast how they made like Belle an inventor, like her dad, but then did nothing with it. Like at the beginning, she just made like a washing machine, and then she just knows what her dad needs at different times. She doesn't invent anything in the castle. It doesn't come up. She just likes to read books. And then just like, she's not wearing a corset. And she invents things, but it has nothing to do with the plot. Where Jasmine wanting to be Sultan not only makes sense, because in the original animation, she's all like, I'm not a prize to be won. Why can't I be out living my life? The next thing right on top of that would be like, why can't she be Sultan? You know, it makes total sense for Jasmine's character to want to be Sultan, and it doesn't feel like it's reaching, right? It doesn't feel like they're going, look, woke feminism. It's like, oh, that makes total sense that Jasmine was like brought up like this, and her mom loved her home country and Agrabah, so it makes sense that Jasmine would be like, why can't I be Sultan? I want to be Sultan. I could really help the people of our country. I'm passionate about that. Like, it makes total sense. And then it gives her the power, which is so good, to change the law so she can marry Aladdin instead of her dad being like, well, am I Sultan or am I Sultan? Like, it gives her the power, which is really great and wonderful, and obviously we love to see that. But giving her this, her wanting to be Sultan, then just takes away her being like, I just don't want to get married to some person I don't love or don't know, and I also want to get out and, you know, blah, blah, blah. I think it's really great, that motivation. It gives her something. And I love that. I love that so much. And then like kind of being like a prisoner in the castle type situation. I think all of that is just so good for her character. I think it was a great choice. So then like Speechless just ties more into that, and that's so good. There's so many great, like, you're just getting married. It's not like you have to talk to him. Okay, Dahlia, dang. The scene between Aladdin and Jasmine when he gives her bracelet back. Oh my god, it's so good. I can't. Jafar is unhinged in this movie, and that's what I'm talking about. Bring back unhinged villains that deserve to die. Like, I'm all about, like, everyone learning lessons and everything, but sometimes you need an unhinged villain, okay? I feel like we haven't had an unhinged villain in a freaking minute, and so it was so great to have Jafar back, and he's completely unhinged in this movie, which is really great. Carpet's my favorite character. Carpet tends to always be my favorite character, even the first one. Like, I love Genie, but Carpet just makes me laugh. Rugman, give me some tassel. Carpet is the one to tell Aladdin to rub the lamp instead of Aladdin just like trying to read something and rubbing it on accident. I thought that was really cool. Carpet clapping for Genie, how respectful and wonderful and beautiful. There's lots of moments in this that I think are genuinely funny. There's like vocal stems I use from this movie, which is brass. Oh, is that some copper? Nope, brass. I do that all the time. It's kind of probably really annoying for my family. The Genie's on Fire thing was really funny. Aladdin being uncomfortable during Prince Ali until he realized he could just throw money at the poor kids, like, was so good. I love that that was a thing where he was like, oh! And he was like, yes, okay. I loved that. The jams scene, in all honesty, might be one of the things that makes this movie. I hate secondhand embarrassment, but because Genie is experiencing the secondhand embarrassment in the movie and is like, for the love of God, get off the jams, it makes it so much more tolerable for me, to the point of, like, I'm able to laugh, which is why we had the strawberry jam. But the get off the jams, like, that whole scene is some of the funniest things I have ever seen, especially in a live action remake. I genuinely think that jam scene is laugh out loud funny. But maybe I'm alone. Genie's comment about never being that embarrassed is so real. But then what I love so much more is the second he goes and tries to talk to Dahlia by himself, he's the exact same, just to show that, like, it's embarrassing and funny and it's easy to be clumsy when you're feeling some type of way about someone. I love that, like, Genie talks about, like, the guy, you know, that's kind of from the first one as well. But just like, I guess that's the guy. And Aladdin being like, oh yeah, that's definitely the guy. I live in a lamp. This is a party. Don't ruin this for me. Just some of that is so good. I also get secondhand embarrassment when Genie makes him dance too much and, like, do the backflip. It's too much. I can't. I feel like Jasmine getting on the magic carpet with Aladdin in this one just feels so natural and makes total sense because of the things they were discussing and building up and doing and the conversation they were having. And then they go out on the magic carpet. It just felt so natural. An exchange I'm obsessed with in this movie is after A Whole New World, when they're sitting on the carpet above Adrabat and they're just watching, and she puts it together that he is Aladdin. There's an exchange here where she's like, am I crazy to think it could be me? Referring to, like, her being Sultan. And he says, it should be you. And she goes, you think so? And he says, does it matter what I think? Like, you should be Sultan. And that, is so good. I definitely cried in that scene because I was emotional during A Whole New World. And then into that scene when he said, like, you know, does it matter what I think? Not in, like, a, does it matter what I think? But, like, in a, doesn't matter what I think? Like, it doesn't. Like, you should just be Sultan. Which is so great. And then their kiss, right? Like, you know, at the end, when Carpet, you know, pushes him up or whatever. That kiss is so soft and delicate. And, like, perfect. Unlike the movie where it's kind of, like, a little bit like, whoa. And then what I love after that is Dahlia being like, are you sure you just don't want to believe that he's actually a prince pretending? Because then it means you could, like, marry him. I love that they sow that thought to make it seem like, you know, Jasmine's not stupid, but she might be, like, willfully ignorant and be choosing to believe him that he is a prince because she does have interest in him and potentially want to marry him. I think it's great that they sow that, so then you're like, okay, she's not just an idiot buying every lie he says. She's just like, she wants to believe him. Prince Ali exposing Jafar and then trying to come clean, but the Sultan is so grateful about the Jafar reveal that, like, he's like, I'd be lucky to have you as a son. So then he's like, oh, okay, just kidding. I'm not going to come clean because now, like, this is happening. Then, of course, we get, like, him almost dying and blah, blah, blah. And then the scene where Jafar gets the genie and is taking over and everything. What I love in this scene is a line that Jasmine says after Speechless, which is, no, you seek glory for yourself and you would see it won off the backs of my people. Ooh, I just got goosebumps saying it to you. Oh my God. Just like her, and that is the moment you see her dad be like, oh my God, what am I doing? She could totally be Sultan. I'm an idiot. Like, you see that in him. He's like, oh my God, she, like, that's our Sultan. That's our Sultan. She just said, no, you seek glory only for yourself and you would win it off the backs of my people. Like, oh my God, it's so effective. Oh my God, it's excellent, excellent, excellent. And again, like, seeing that and her dad, and then it did kill me in this scene, though, that, like, Jafar changes outfit, like, 3 times, because he goes from, like, his vizier outfit to a sultan outfit to, emperor, or a sorcerer outfit, and then he becomes the genie, a genie, eventually. I think Genie, speaking of, does help Aladdin a bit more for free in this one than he does in the original movie, which there's a little wiggle room in there, I suppose. But I did think that was interesting. And then I did mention earlier the carpet and bird chase sequence with Iago is the only part of this movie that feels like it was added for like a bit of excitement and a bit of a chase and all that kind of stuff. I think it was unnecessary, but like, again, like I said, it didn't go on too long to the point of being like, okay, what do we do here? Like, it was short, sweet, and it was like, fine, okay. When Genie gets freed, and the Sultan tells Jasmine, like, she should be Sultan, he's gonna let her be Sultan, and then, like, as Sultan, she can change the law. Wept. Naomi Scott, my beloved. I love her. I'm obsessed with her. She's wonderful and beautiful and talented and great. And I love her. And she's really, really good at this movie. OGs know her from Lemonade Mouth. And she's obviously gone on and done things. Most recently, she did, like, Smile 2, which was hard to watch because I don't like horror, but I did watch it for her because she also sang in it. So, like, how do you not see it? Mena Massoud. Love him. Thought he was great in this. Like I said earlier, I do wish they had him, like, sing One Jump Ahead a bit more because he's really good in A Whole New World. So I just, like, wish he sang it a bit more and wasn't directed to, like, kind of speak it. I also think his acting during the secondhand embarrassment was too convincing. I was like, what is happening? Why is he so good at this? I am mortified. Frank Welker was back as the Cape of Wonders and Abu, which was super exciting. Marwan as Jafar, I think, is out of this world. I think he somewhat steals the movie because he is so convincingly unhinged. Like, I want an Aladdin 2 just to potentially see Marwan come back as Jafar in the genie form. Like, genuinely, he's so good. Mena and Naomi's chemistry, off the charts in some of these scenes. So good. I don't think it's as good as an upcoming couple's chemistry, but their chemistry is very good, especially in that scene when he gives the bracelet back, especially in the scene when she's like, do you think it could be me? And he's like, I think it should be you. And she's like, oh, you know. I remember being super skeptical of Will Smith as the genie. I was so disappointed that he was cast. And then I remember watching this and being like, you know what? No one could have been Robin Williams, first. No one ever would have been Robin Williams. And then 2, he was funny. He wasn't maybe like this, he definitely wasn't the same as like what Robin Williams did or could have done. But he was funny. He cracked me up. I had quite a few laughable moments because of Will Smith's genie. Now, obviously, yikes. The dancing, Jasmine's dancing, Mena's dancing, the background dancing, the end of the movie dancing, all so good. Costumes, sets, absolutely breathtaking. Everybody looks so great. The sets were gorgeous. I'm obsessed. I feel like it all really needed a call out. My favorite parts are either A Whole New World, the jam scene, or when Jasmine gets to be Sultan. Oh, that's so good. Least favorite would probably be One Jump Ahead because of how he like sings it. I really don't like it. It takes me out of the movie because I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we like this? Recommend? Yes. Watch again, 100%. I feel like I enjoyed this more this watch through than like besides the first time I saw it. And I've watched this many times since I saw it in theaters in 2019. So I really enjoy it. I would recommend it. I would watch it again. Otherwise, I don't really have anything else to talk about other than like I think the dance credits at the end are really fun. I just really like this one. I don't think it's the strongest live action remake, but I think it's up there, and I think it's a beautiful homage to the original while also kind of standing on its own. I think it's great. I really enjoy it. I definitely like the animated one better, but this is still really, really nice. That's it. My final rating is going to be 9 jars of jam. Where does it normally land? Like right here? 9 jams out of 10 are total movie Naomi Countess! Ah! Our parent death toll is... Our cry count is... If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on all socials and check out my website. It's going to say 900. I'm sad and happy and crazy. Oh my god. Join Patreon. There's been a ton of stuff going on over there this month. Lots of fun stuff. Go check it out. Tiers starting at just $1, you get every video a week early. And then tiers over that, daily trivia, monthly postcards, bonus content, lots of fun bonus stuff this month. Go check it out. And then buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. Be sure you bought yourself a new piece because it's cute. Okay? That's it. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe. If you're not in charge of your life, you are. So do you. And don't be Jafar about it. Truly. I can't believe we've watched 900 movies. I can't believe 900 came so fast. I remember Jungle Book and Ghosts of Buxley Hall and Little Mermaid and Hunchback and Emperor's New Groove and Teacher's Pet and WALL-E and was WALL-E 800? No. Because WALL-E's only 700 merch. What the hell was 800? Big Hero 6? I remember wanting that to be. I don't think that's right. I'm starting to not remember the hundredths. Is that bad? Brave! Whoopsie. Sorry, Brave. My bad. Okay. Bye.